So when I went to the bathroom, as I was going to the urinal, this boy behind me like did this weird march down to the end of his urinal over there, and then shouted out, "No, you can't go faster than me." I was way more interested than that than I was in this movie. Yeah, I know. I had to go in there. I was like, "Where is he taking this?" But I brought it back. So.
Yes. A few days ago, I watched the Jeremy Jahns review of this movie, and to adapt a phrase he used, this movie will make you its bitch.
I don't know. This felt like punishment.
Yeah.
Like this. Honestly, the line I kind of had a debate in my head of which opening line I wanted to say for this review. The one that was like, I never thought I'd miss the days of Skinamax.
I remember you mentioning that when we reviewed the last one of these 3 years ago.
I was listing other titles from that I'd rather be watching than this. And Teenage Years Ainer was a lot slower, so you had to work with what you had. You had to work with what you got.
Yes, the internet used to be much slower. And like I said on the way over to the car, I was totally prepared to introduce you to Angry Man, and I'm his sidekick, Agreeable Girl, because I agreed to see this piece of shit.
And thank you again for that.
You're welcome.
Because I was terrified this was going to be another Boo and Medea Halloween experience. Because Matt dropped out at the last minute. I tried to text everyone else. No one else was free. He's like, fuck, I want to see us alone again. God damn it.
Yeah,
because as bad as this movie is, it would have been 10 times worse if I saw this by myself.
I kind of suspected I'd be the one to end up seeing this with you because I reviewed the last one with you.
I really tried. I really did. Because I was like, no, I don't want to subject her to that again. So God damn it, I tried, but I just wasn't happening. So I was finally okay, Sarah, are you busy tomorrow morning?
Yeah,
No. Would you be willing? Sure. On these conditions.
Yes, when you texted me, I was in Campbell enjoying a belated Galentine's Day.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. And...
Is that why you sent the text? It's like, okay, here's my turn so I don't feel like a doormat. Was that Katie's suggestion?
No. I read them your text to name my terms, and I busted up laughing, and that's when I texted back that you're paying for my ticket and you gotta come to me, because I will schlep and deprive myself of sleep for many movie titles for you, but this was not one of them.
That's fair. I get it. Again, this is probably not the worst movie I've taken you to see.
I still think The Big Wedding takes the cake on that one.
God, the movie was awful.
Yes.
I honestly forgot most about it.
I know, it was only your 10th worst of that year.
This was 2 hours of nothing fucking happening. And it's honest. And with just I don't think you know what Kinky is movie, because the best thing got is 2 little silver balls and that whatever that leg spread thing was. That's it. It's bitch, you don't know what Kinky is. When you consider the worst is a hard spanking the last movie. Give me a horsetail, a remote control vibrator, and a saddle. I'll show you fucking Kinky.
Or even feathers.
or feathers, or just, gosh, I don't know. I think I saw an review pointing about it's dude, all that stuff in that room is just for fucking show. Mm-hmm. That thing's collected dust for years.
Although Anna does ask, does your housekeeper come in and dust this sometimes?
I guess. I don't know. I guess she has to, because I don't think much of this gets much use. Mm-hmm. Man.
When I was watching one of the sex scenes, I couldn't help thinking, Dakota Johnson's father, Don Johnson, he must be so proud of his baby girl.
I mean, God bless Dakota Fanning. She is doing her fucking best.
Dakota Johnson, sorry.
Dakota Johnson, she's doing the best she can with this garbage material. And I think what I was trying to compare is the problem is the guy who's playing Christian Grey has just no charisma or screen presence at all.
Well, he was a model who transitioned into acting.
Yeah, and it shows because he can't act for shit.
I liked him in the first season of Once Upon a Time.
I didn't like that show either. But either way, all I can think is this is watching trying to make good chemistry out of wet cardboard and warm blue cheese. That is what I am watching.
I hate blue cheese.
I like blue cheese sauce. Blue cheese sauce is pretty good.
Fair enough.
But that's all I could think of. Was like, man, these people have like no chemistry together. They're trying so fucking hard to convince me that they have chemistry, and they really fucking don't. And again, only to the end is like, oh, I leave. Like when the girl's roommate comes up and says, I leave for 2 weeks, and all this happens. Like, well, this only takes place over the course of 2 weeks. What?
I thought she said it was a month.
I don't know. Is it a month? Is it 2 weeks? I don't fucking know. This movie has no passage of time.
No, not really. And they go spoiler alert.
Yeah, so you don't have to spoil much. Like maybe 1 or 2 things of relevance happens.
Yeah, so spoiler warning. About a few scenes after she agrees to move in with Christian, then he proposes. It's like, you're skipping a few steps, asshole.
Like, I don't know, having a healthy relationship and person that's clearly abusive.
Or being open and honest with each other entirely, which is what she was nagging on him about towards the beginning.
Her entire movie trying to justify that this guy's clearly abusive and overly possessive behavior is okay. Even like the movie kind of addresses it and then never brings it up again. Because there's a point like early on in the movie, this is like I was making a checklist, all like, there's a red flag, there's a red flag, there's another red flag. Like, okay, because the first movie ends like with them breaking up, all sad, tear, bleh. And then like that lasts for like maybe 5 minutes in the movie.
Yes.
After a creepy friend zone guy from last movie makes an illegal photography gallery that's all pictures of her.
Yes, without her permission, and she's totally freaked out by it.
Naturally, so that's why I'll give Dakota Johnson some credit in the fact that she's like the only one reacting in any way realistic to anything that's happening in this movie.
Yes.
And the fact she naturally goes, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? And it's like, isn't it beautiful? It's like,
they're so big.
Did you get a release form for this? Because this is really illegal. If not just creepy and just weird. And then before that happens, he's Christian Grey's constantly sending her flowers, following up on what job she has, basically just total stalker behavior.
And she almost throws the flowers away.
Almost, but oh no, it's so sweet. It's so sweet this man is stalking me even though I told him to leave me alone. Because, boundaries and consent are a thing in this.
Although he tells her his boundaries, but
it's perfectly okay for him to justify his boundaries.
But he completely disregards hers. Continuously.
So yeah, and then it goes, and after the arc, it goes, someone bought all the pictures of her. It's like, I wonder who.
Yeah, it was pretty
3
obvious.
seconds later, hi. I was half expecting her to go, the court order says 500 feet, jackass.
There were multiple moments in this movie where any real life individual with any functioning brain cells would have called the police.
And I know I harped on the last review, and I still stand by that. I hate the fact this is being promoted to more teenage women. Then I looked at the crowd around us, most people in their 40s, and they were still the youngest people in that audience. And I was kind of like,
I thought we were.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We were the youngest people in that audience. I'm like, okay, maybe not. Granted, Twilight still covered that ground pretty well, but still.
This is Twilight fan fiction.
It shows. Especially the part where they're going, we need to expand, it shows, what the hell her name? Anastasia Steele, which is that sounds like a stripper name. It just sounds like, hey, coming down to the stage, it's Anastasia Steele. Get your knowledge ready, boys. She'll awkwardly mumble for 2 hours.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. I'm sorry.
Careful, boys. She thinks spanking's too hard.
I'm sorry, but I could totally imagine her strip dancing to that song.
I guess. Yeah, I can see this too, actually, now you mention it. But fucking hell, this stupid movie. And then, after, 5 minutes, and they decide to get back together, and then, immediately afterwards, you find about another, one of his submissives.
Who stalks Anna and ruins her car at a Christian's
garage, and then stalks him and does all that stuff.
And goes into Anna's apartment, holds her at gunpoint.
Still not as creepy as Christian.
And nobody called the police! Why did nobody in this movie call the police?
Well, I'm just saying, like, still not as creepy as Christian in general, though, because he had a full FBI dossier on this woman. Like, just as, like, who is she? File document. Boom! Like birth certificate, social security number, like, all these creepy ass things.
He had a file on Anna, too, and I mentioned this in the theater to you. In under the first page,
and she clearly shows her birth certificate.
It has her birth certificate.
Yeah. And it's like, this is like way worse. And she rightfully says, this is horrible. You do this to everyone? And then he just goes into, come to the bedroom. And she goes, sex is not gonna fix this. Well, apparently it can, because it's never brought up again.
Yes, and even when he proposes to her the first time, and she's unconvinced.
And rightfully so. That's like a good voice of Burn going, run. Run far away. And
he lets her touch him in one of his off-limits areas.
Because he has off-limits areas, okay.
And then they just start making out, and I couldn't help but say in the theater, that doesn't resolve anything.
Nope. Nothing is resolved in this movie.
Is it still recording?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Why is there a button? Was something blinking?
I thought I saw something.
No, you're good. But
nothing is... They don't resolve anything. They start to talk. She starts to raise a valid point. They make out. It's completely...
It's like
forgotten.
Well, not need to worry about that anymore. That's what gets thrown in the garbage. Oh, real problems. Realistic character actions. Acting talent. Fucking hell. I don't know. This is just like.
And how the music used in this movie? How did they get the rights to Van Morrison's Moondance? Why?
I can't help you there.
Why did he let them use that song? It makes me... It's the title track to Van Morrison's best album.
You can still listen to the album.
Yes, and I have it on my iPod, but why did they use it?
I feel like this is reverse, where you're more upset about this movie than I was when I saw, but I was more upset than you were when we saw the first one.
Yes.
Yeah. So now shoes on the other foot. It's kind of a nice change of pace, in a kind of harsh way, I admit, but still.
Well.
I mean, like, this
movie... At least I didn't have to pay for this piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, that's why I want to see, like, one of the early morning shows, because, like, I don't want to fucking pay full price for this.
Oh, fuck no. Nobody should pay full price for this.
No.
So, on Valentine's Day, I came here with two friends to see the Lego Batman movie.
Nice.
Yeah. And when I was waiting in line, two young women bought tickets to 50 Shades Darker, and even when they were paying, it almost sounded like they were whispering it. It's like, one for 50 Shades Darker, please. And an older couple was behind me in line, and they were trying to figure out what to watch, and the wife was saying, "Oh, 50 Shades Darker, do you think that's good?" And I couldn't help myself. I turned around and said, no. Don't see it. See something else. See anything else.
I saw John Wick on Valentine's Day. That was awesome.
Nice. And I saw the Lego Batman movie on Valentine's Day.
I like that one. That was awesome too.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, I mean, like.
But this movie, no, not awesome. Quite the opposite.
No, like, this is the stinker I knew I had to get to this week. It's like, I know, like, I've missed quite a few movies already this year. Like, no, I can't miss 50 Shades Darker. I just can't. Like, I have to. I'm so sorry, but I have to. I need to be punished.
Oh, this movie will work for that.
It really did. But, like, this is, again, just so much of the time, I'm just sitting there going, well, for the love of God, will something fucking happen? And then something does happen, like, oh my God, I don't care. And that was like, that's not even 90%, 100% of the movie. Like, the movie didn't fucking end.
No.
Like, way more, like, I was in there like, okay, a helicopter crash happens. Does the movie end after that? No, it keeps going to a party. Does it end after, like, they announce their engagement? No, it keeps going. Now they're, like, having a confrontation with his old mistress. Does it end after that? No, it keeps fucking going. And I'm like, will you just fucking end because I want to go home?
There's a like one shot of sequel bait with her jealous now former boss using his cigarette.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yes.
Oh, fuck off.
Yes.
Yeah, like statutory rape is a thing in this movie.
Yes. With her jealous now former boss, he printed out a picture of Gray and his family that he took with his iPhone, which means he actually put forth effort to
I know, right?
to do this
First to burn it.
just so he could burn out Christian Gray's face while he's watching the fireworks from their birthday / engagement party from afar.
I mean, granted, I've hated on people before, but I've never gone to that extreme yet. I might now. Just for dramatic effect. Was anybody to witness it? No. Why'd you do it? 'Cause. But no, like, even one thing, like, even, like, the sex scenes were hot in any way, but, like, this is just as vanilla as it fucking gets. Like again, it just comes down to, and they were, like, 40-minute break, like, it feels like 40-minute breaks in between these sex scenes, too. It's like, so if you're watching this for the sex, you're gonna be disappointed in that, too, because there's really not a whole lot there, and it's over pretty quickly.
It is.
Because, like, oh, if you're lucky, you go, oh, look, there's a nipple, and then it'll cut to black, and then cut to the next scene.
And much of it looks the same.
I get
it's almost like they use stock footage and just recut some stuff. Oh, and the shower scene that has been used in the trailer. That is so unrealistic. People do not keep their clothes on when they go into the shower for shower sex.
Yeah. That's the unrealistic part.
I didn't say that was the only unrealistic part. I just said that you do not keep your clothes on for shower sex.
Okay, there's a fact. But I don't know. Maybe some people do. I don't really care. I'm sure some people are into that. It doesn't fucking matter to me. Like, it's one of those things, that's your thing, I don't care. I just know this is a terrible representation of BSM.
Your clothes are not what you want to get wet in that situation.
I come right to him, he can buy new ones. Because he makes like $24,000 a minute. Because it's like, oh, fuck up. What do you do exactly, sir? I think you're making some of this up.
When they're talking about him on the news, the reporter was saying, one of the most eligible billionaires in Seattle. How many billionaires are there in Seattle?
Well, if you count, like, Tony Stark, I'm sure he's in there.
Well, Tony Stark is in New York.
He's flown around. Now, the part that got me chuckle out of me when it said, the eccentric... Okay. Keep telling yourself that movie. Yeah, he's really eccentric. His entire face looks like this. Anastasia. Make it rain. Like, again, just like the wet cardboard, just nothing. Like, again, Dakota Johnson is at least trying to get something out of material, and he is giving her fucking nothing to work with. And again, it's like trying to act against a cardboard cutout. There's just nothing fucking there. I've had more dramatic scenes talking to myself than I have.
I have too.
Than anything happened in this movie. And again, there's a part of the movie where Anastasia's confronted by like his old mistress, like the very first one he ever had.
Oh, Mrs. Robinson.
Mrs. Robinson, whatever.
Or the person she calls Mrs. Robinson.
Again, whatever. And then she's talking about like, you can't give him what he needs. He needs a submissive in his life, because you realize that's called abuse, right? You're like, that's the thing that's called abuse. Now, granted, there are some like BSM things. Okay. You keep that in the bedroom, fine. There are fucking limits to where that goes. For one, you don't buy their company so you can constantly, like, the company they work for, so they can constantly, like, be their boss. You can't forbid them to go to New York for a business trip. Mm-hmm. You can't buy portraits of her because she doesn't want, quote, I don't want any strangers gawking at you.
And you can't call her boss's boss to get them fired.
To be fair, that one was kind of a fair point.
It was, yes, but it's still
Massive invasion of privacy.
Yes, and inappropriate and overreaction and disrespecting boundaries.
And it does that thing where it tries to make that main horrible person seem less horrible by putting someone more horrible next to him, which was the form of Anastasia's boss, which it still kills me after say the phrase and name Anastasia out loud. And because at this point, they basically make him out to just be a serial rapist.
Yes.
That's what they make it sound like. And there's a point where he's flirting with her in front of the HR woman. And I'm stealing with somebody else, but she kind of looks on like, oh, you. As in, like, is she not going to say anything? I half expect her to lean forward and go, you can report him if he gets too far.
The one thing that I did appreciate from Dakota Johnson was that she caused her former boss physical pain to get out of the situation.
Yeah, at least there was that. Like, again, one of the few things that actually fucking happens at all in this piece of shit movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's what you expect it to be,
It's
like,
too long. It's boring. They use some terrible songs in the soundtrack, and the movie ruins the good songs that they use.
You honestly get better quality by watching a Skinamax film.
Or
Bring
hell,
back Emmanuel from space.
or hell, you would get better quality watching the
Ghost in a teeny bikini.
or the sexy clips of Buffy and Spike on YouTube. I mean, it's
or watching better versions of this movie, like, I don't know, Saving Ryan's Privates. Pump Friction. These are real ones, by the way.
I don't watch actual porn.
I don't either, but I know the names. I'm not saying I've actually gone on my way to watch these. I just know that people have told me the names. Like,
Gotcha.
That's amazing. But it's like, I think we actually made a game back when I did theater. We tried to make porn names for like well-known movies. I think one of my favorites was The Dark Cock Rises.
Nice. Once you go black, you never go back.
Or Cockbusters. Or The Cockfather. Better movies than this. So I don't know, like,
Yes.
if you're the target, if you like the first one, you'll probably like this one fine. But if you also like the first one, I worry about you.
And even
And why are you watching this show? Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
there was a Rolling Stone article that listed this movie as the worst of 2017, as
Okay.
as the worst sequel of 2017.
That I'll give it, because I haven't seen that many sequels so far this year. So, I don't know. You got anything else you want to talk about with this movie?
Fuck this movie. I am glad that it did not make me its bitch because I didn't pay for it.
I did. Actually, I take it back. There's been a few sequels this year. This is about on par with Rings, I would say. Although we had the Underworld sequel, the Resident Evil sequel, Triple X.
That was at least fun.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like crappy sequels though. And yeah, I think those are all the sequels we had. So there's been a few. Would I call this a worst sequel? I don't know. I have to really sit down and think about it. Underworld and Resident Evil, I checked out pretty hard on both of those. They're just unremarkable. This one did get me a little angry, not terribly so, but enough like, yeah, this is what I thought I was going to see.
And it's boring and it's too long.
Yeah, and that I completely agree. Because I was in there like, and
Yes.
stop, and for the love of God.
I mean, I couldn't help myself. I think when we still had like 20 minutes left, I was like
Yeah.
tapping on my armrest.
No, I was looking up the runtime on my phone. I was doing calculations. I was like, when does movie start? Okay. I was
And
like,
we basically missed all of the trailers because we came into it late.
that was my fault.
I'm not necessarily complaining about that.
Yeah, we watched in the Beauty and the Beast trailer, which is like, I've already made my point clear on that one, that I'm not really looking forward to it.
My thing on that is that I have mixed feelings about it because the animated version is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, and I don't know if this will be better.
It's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Because, like, the only thing I'm looking forward to that movie is Dracula as Gaston. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to in that movie.
And every last inch of me's covered in hair. That part always grossed me out when I was a kid.
And I was like, ooh. Now that I'm grown, I eat 5,000 eggs. So I'm roughly the size of a bone. Thank you. I performed that for a psychology class.
Yes, I remember you tell me about that to demonstrate a narcissistic personality
disorder. Yeah. Teacher walked up in class and I've been doing this for 20 years. Nobody has ever done that before. I was very proud. But anyway, I don't think we've sort of said everything I think I have to say. You got anything else?
Don't see this movie. Don't give the studio more money. Do not make them think that people want this.
We're gonna get a third one regardless.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. It's only one more. After that, we're done. Unless they split that into 2 parts.
Even Jamie Dorn, the actor playing Christian, has said that after it's over, he wants nothing more to do with this franchise.
Yeah, I think Pat, what's his name? The Twilight guy?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson said the same thing about Twilight. But he'll make fun of it just as much as everyone else will. Which I don't like Robert Pattinson, but I'll give him credit for that. So I think that's all we got. So next week I got Fist Fight and a couple other movies I don't want to see. Let me see. Yeah, I got Fist Fight, The Great Wall, and A Cure for Wellness, which I'm still curious about, even though it's not getting very, very good reviews. But
what's that one?
that's the one with the villain from Chronicles. It's kind of like what was it, Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he's like a detective in Shutter Island?
Okay.
It looks like it could be interesting. I know apparently it's not getting very good reviews though. But we'll check that out next week. So see you later.